Good morning, it's Bruce Phares here with Windermere Real Estate in Seattle. It is the 10th of April, it's Friday, and we're going to look back at Thursday. Today, we're going to be letting you know where we're actually doing these from. This is from our, we call it the Vashon offices of BruceandDonna.com. This is on the eastern seaboard of Maury Island, which is on the eastern side of the south end of Vashon Island. All right, let's move on. Here's what we get to see in the morning. This is a typical sunrise here from the waterfront here. Let's go ahead and jump into the numbers. We had been tracking the Dow when it was being so volatile and really quite negative, but in the last few days, there's not that much to report on that, so we're not going to pay any attention. Interest rates had hit a high of 4.15 on 3/19, and yet we are now, yesterday, there were rates bopping around at around in the low threes. That's certainly gotten the attention of a lot of people. We'll see what will happen as a result of that. Let's go ahead and jump into the numbers here. And let me click this right there. We go. And so I can read from this. I'm going to get rid of the highlighter for a second here. So I'm going to point you out over here a couple different things. The greens are newly actives. This color, whatever it is pending inspections, pendings, and 6 days off market properties here in the center. We used to call this the big kahuna. And by measuring our 6 day off markets, those property going off market in 6 days or less, that told us what the speed or frequency of the market was. So let's go ahead and jump over here because I think this is, we've got something finally to report on. I haven't done a recording for a couple of days because it's really just been stable. We have a 20 new listings in 1 day surge that took place. So I've added in here a new color, periwinkle, I'll call it, and I don't know how it shows on your screen, but what that is the lowest number since our shelter-in-place mothballing of agents here that we saw on Thursday the 26th. So with that being said, you can see we went from a surge right before the shelter-in-place, and we dropped down to this valley here, taken down right down to there. That's our lowest number, and look where we are today. So this is our highest number since that point. And also we're seeing that in our 7 day, looking back 7 days from today, from yesterday. We're looking at Thursday's numbers there to be clear. The purples here, by the way, those are the highest numbers that I wanted to track from that point on to see what was going on. So my periwinkle here in terms of the totals was there. And interestingly, this 507, yellow means highest number for the entire year. So we had the highest amount of total actives on market in this range that we're looking at on that point, but you can see 497 to 507 is not that different, right? And we're moving around. But nonetheless, this probably tells us something, and we'll see what happens in the next few days in our 1 days. But given that that's a Thursday, typically throughout the year, Friday would start coming down, and then Saturday and Sunday would be low numbers. So it's going to be interesting what happens here from this point on. Pending inspections, let's just go ahead and bop through these. We can move fairly quickly. I'm only going to look at the 7 days primarily, looking at the weeklies. And you can see that's kind of just holding right around the mid-20s in terms of a 7 day. Our lowest number was at 18. Highest number right there was 32 in terms of pending inspections. Those transactions going into a contingency upon inspection. And let's look at our pendings here, our 7 days, looking backwards. 1 days, you see there's pretty much holding right there in the center of the 10, 0 to 10. Lowest point for pendings, 35 in a week, and we're at 50. Here's where we started coming down. Here's the valley, the bottom of the valley, and then here's it coming back up again. Modest numbers in terms of that, doing that. This kind of trails along here, this number here for the total, so I'm not really concerned about that. 6 day off markets, those are the properties that go into pending or pending inspection within 6 days of hitting the market. Our lowest number for those was right there. And our highest number for those, let's see if we can find that, right there, 20 in 1 day, about a week and a half week or so prior to the mothballing, the shelter in place. And nonetheless, there we are. 7 days, here's our lowest point at 24. Not a great difference between that and 31, as you can see, but 96, obviously, that was the highest number for the year in terms of these that took place in a week's time. So we're on slightly a rise, but I wouldn't call it anything significant. And same thing here. So 239, the totals I don't really care about. Let's go to the ratios. I won't worry about the totals, and the pending inspections are at a valley right here, and that's kind of trailing from all of this. Let's go over here to our ratios, our pendings and pending inspections to newly actives on a weekly basis. You can see those numbers right there. There's a lowest point right there, and there was our highest point right there. So came down from 96% down to 60% and back up into this realm. Pending and pending inspections in terms of the total actives, there it is right there. So not caring too much about that. I do care about my 6-day off markets in relationship to pending and pending inspections and in relationship to the newly active. So my pending and pending inspection 6-day off market relationship. Here's our high right after shelter in place, 71%. In relationship to the total amount of that go into pending and pending inspection status. And you can see it coming down here. And we just hit our lowest moment on that. In terms of 6-day off market in relationship to newly actives in a weekly basis, we're still right at the low 30s, right? Here's where we crested at 66%. That was 3 days after. So there was a flurry of transactions being written right then and there. And then it started coming back down. Here's our low point at 29. So there's the valley, but the valley isn't that much lower than where we are right now, okay? Northwest Multiple Listing Market Watch, they track similar location, and but it's a little bit more broad. So 65 new listings in a week and 84 new pendings in a week, 129% pending to active weekly relationship, 3.25 on the 30-year fixed. And that is it for the report for today, the 10th, Friday, 10th of April. We encourage you to subscribe to us, or you can take a look at any time at our video. Tiny URL this week in Seattle real estate with a slash in the middle there, and then tinyurl.com/Seattle real estate market updates to get into the graph itself. Excuse me, graph is right here. tinyurl.com/Seattle real estate daily stats. So 3 different ways you can get to this. And then don't forget, these over here show you current graphing of pricing, days on market, etc. That can be helped. And Alan Pope, love his graphs. I do love his graphs. All right, that's it. I hope you are well. Hope you are safe. And please continue to do so. Take care. Bye-bye.